Look upon the glory of His creation, and you will learn what God has kept for you. Well, one of the things He kept for you was you, unaltered by your temporary wish to try to do the impossible. And who you are will be returned to you as your conscious experience. God had given you a place in His mind which is yours forever. Yet, you could keep it only by giving it as it was given you. Could you be alone there if it was given you because God did not will to be alone? God's mind cannot be lessened. It can only be increased, and everything He creates has the function of creating. Love does not limit, and what it creates is not limited. To give without limit is God's will for you, because only this can bring you the joy which is His and which He wills to share with you. Your love is as boundless as His. Why? Because it is His. The love you love with is God's. There is no little radical general store sitting just outside of infinity where you can go and get a radical black market packet of love with which to love. There's no place to go to find the ability to love outside of the presence of God, or outside of the presence of what you are as God presencing Himself right there where you are. But, gee, my love has to be special, doesn't it? The way I love my wife has to be different from the way Joe down the street loves his wife. Well, where are you going to go to get this little bit of different kind of love? And why would you want a different kind of love when the love that God is infinite and awesome, you see? Instead of trying to go and get a little bit better love from this ad in the newspaper, or this ad in the Playboy magazine, or whatever, you need to dare to take a deep breath and relax and let go of the definitions and look at your wife, or whatever it might be, with a desire to see what God is being there. In other words, inviting God in so that revelation can occur, and you are put in the position of playing your part in co-creation by recognizing God there, experiencing God there, so that there is this spontaneous exclamation of pure recognition. And that gift is the gift of God's love, in the recognition of God's love, bringing into play the singularity that causes the so-called independent you, who's been struggling to get to the top of the barrel, to give up the ghost, replaced by you, with an unaltered and unbiased conscious experience of what is real. Now, the simple fact is that you have to rouse yourself from your dream. If you're intent upon your dream and I come and shake your shoulder, the sensation of your shoulder shaking, being shaken, will become incorporated into the dream. And the dream will go on. You must rouse yourself from the dream. You're already rousing because you're inquiring, because there is curiosity. But I cannot do it for you. I can only tell you why it's safe to rouse yourself. I can only tell you that in the process you may go through stages where nothing you see means anything, because now you're seeing everything minus the definitions you gave to it, and momentarily it seems as though they mean nothing. But you must abide there with the curiosity, the interest, the desire to know what they do mean, and inquiring of them to reveal themselves to you. Express your need to know. Don't busy yourself asserting knowledge that you make up. And I'm telling you that every ounce of commitment you bring to this, right here, right now, without waiting till after you die, will pay off, because here and now is the only place you're having a misperception of reality. Which means here is where reality confronts you. Here is where reality is in your face. And it doesn't matter how many people aren't doing it. It doesn't matter how many people think all of this is nonsense. It doesn't matter whether people dislike you, because you're rousing yourself from the dream. It doesn't matter how many people are distressed, because you won't play their game anymore. Peace on earth, goodwill toward men. It's needed here. Why? Because in reality, that is what's going on. I know. You can think of so-and-so and so-and-so and another so-and-so and say, no way. The truth couldn't possibly be going on there. There you go. You just came up with a definition. A string of words that you can choose to honor and make commitment to and base your behavior upon. But it doesn't mean it's the truth. Oh, so-and-so has cancer on his arm. I can see it I saw it on his arm. Oh, it's there. And he's going to die from it, the doctor said. How on earth could you possibly get past that? How on earth could you get to the experience of healing that shows nothing there except perfection, unless you are willing to back up from that string of words and withdraw your commitment to them and insist upon finding God there? If there's anything going on there at all, it must be God, in spite of what I'm seeing, else I couldn't have a false or untrue definition about it. There's an it that I have a definition about. And the it is God, and it's flawless. And I'm telling you, and I don't know why I would need to tell you, but I must tell you that healing is the inevitable evidence of greater and greater inner illumination of the truth. And there had better be evidences of healing that contradict the mutually agreed upon definitions that your gods, the doctors, and your fears have put into place. And I'm telling you that healing is possible right where it seems to be impossible. And I'm saying that right where there seem to be world leaders or terrorists or whatever it might be, right there, just as with the cancer, in spite of the appearance, God is being there. And here and now is where you need to cut through the definitions you've given to the appearances and your commitment to those definitions. You need to get past them. You need to say, Father, I've created some definitions here and I've made commitment to them, and they are beginning to scare me. They are beginning to make me think there is no alternative to life as hell. And I don't choose to go down this road any further. Father, help me see what you are being right there, where so-and-so, Christ so-and-so, is using his mind poorly. You are going to have to become more aggressive. Not aggressive against the bitch next door, or the insensitive guy down the street, or the irresponsible leader of a government. You don't have to become aggressive against them. You must become aggressive in your intent to get past the definitions you have in place that keep you from seeing God there and keep you from witnessing instantaneous healing that seems to have no objective justification. You can have the instantaneous evidence of wholeness because God has not created anything other than that. And your function has not changed from being that which has the capacity to recognize God there and acknowledge God there and experience with awe the goodness, the godness of God there, knowing that the mind you are seeing God with right there is God also. Remember, it all boils down to something rather simple: projection or extension. Either you are going to project a definition you have made up or one that you have endorsed and adopted out there on your world, which is a loveless act, an empty act that doesn't actually accomplish anything at all except an ongoing experience of distress for you. There's either that choice or there's the choice of extension. Extension meaning what? Your willingness to give something. Your willingness to give your attention to the presence of God that has to be there with more commitment than you have given to your definitions, with a desire to see the good that is there. That's an extension. That is an act of care, not an act of caring for a poor, awful, misguided this, that, or the other thing, but a love for what has to be there behind the definition that's been applied to it. Underneath the definition that's been applied to it, you make that gift of the desire to see it, no matter what seems to be going on. You invite in the experience of God there, of good there. That's extension. You see. Oh, you say, well, projection, extension, projection, I'm giving, I'm plastering my definition right over their face. I'm giving something. And I'm giving them the best definition I can come up with. They ought to be grateful. That's not a gift. That's a demand. That's a taking away of something. It's insisting upon a lesser experience than the God presence that's there. Projection is when you apply not only something that's not wanted, but something that isn't even real on top of something that's real. That is projection. Now, this week, pay attention and watch how many times you project a hateful thought. Watch how many times you project a thought onto somebody, a cute little, sneaky and mean definition. Watch it so that you may withdraw it immediately. Because it's that empty act that keeps you from seeing God, glorifying God, and experiencing instantaneous healings of situations. It keeps you in a constant state of vulnerability because you're trying to make toast without being plugged in. And you are delaying. You are creating this sense of time. You are delaying your peace and your joy. You are holding your good at arm's length. So, with that, I will say good night for tonight. And I look forward to being with you next week. It could sound like I've said a lot of things that you should feel bad about. But no, you can use your mind poorly, and you can use your mind well. When you're using your mind poorly, you're doing nothing. And when you're using your mind well, you're co-creating with God. So, although it will be an uncomfortable experience when you're using your mind poorly, rather than applying another definition of judgment against yourself, just see that, well, you can do things this way and it doesn't feel good, and you can do things another way and at least Raj says it will feel better. I can do it this way or I can do it that way. And so, you know what? I'm going to apply myself a little bit to doing it a different way this week. You see? Just realize you can do it and be uncomfortable, or you can try something that will lead to everything and more that you had been striving for all by yourself. Okay.